It was a good step for us, a really good step against an outstanding defensive team. We all watched their last game against Creighton, where they just went out there and locked up Creighton on the road, and they're good, man, and they always give us trouble. But you could see the first half we couldn't score, just couldn't score, and I was pleased with our patience and just not getting frustrated with their great defense, and just continuing to play through it and playing good defense on our own. And I think that's what the game came down to.
All right, we'll start with questions. Aaron, go ahead.
Hey Jay, what would you attribute that first 10-minute stretch of the second half when your offense really started to get going?
You know what? I wish I had a good answer for you, Aaron. I really think we were playing off our defense. Like I think we're getting confidence from getting stops defensively. We did a pretty good job in the first half defensively. I thought the play at the end of the first half, the two plays at the end of the first half were huge because we got it to 3. We made a mistake and fouled a 3-point shooter, which was kind of demoralizing. And then Justin Moore finding Colin and Colin hitting that shot and then going back in down 3. We were feeling fortunate, to be honest with you. So I think we came out of the second half feeling pretty good.
Terry, go ahead.
Jay, you talked about your defense. I mean, having been out so long, does it take you a little while to kind of get your defensive legs? And you also did a great job of taking care of the basketball in the second half.
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of our individual offensive and defensive skills were in good shape because that's all we did, just one guy. And but our team defense was not good. Seton Hall shot like 58%, and we were missing on rotations and just messing up on coverages. And that's what we worked on this week, and that's what we talked about. So we just need to practice together. We just need to get this timing down defensively. And I really do think it made a big difference. And I hope we can continue to get better. It's almost harder to be together defensively than it is offensively, because offensively you can get one guy, just get it going. But defensively, every time one guy breaks down, it breaks down the entire defense.
And you took better care of the ball in the second half too. You only had 2 turnovers.
Yeah, I think we got used to their length and speed. I think they're an outstanding defensive team, and I think again, sometimes when you can't simulate that and you're, and they're in you and they're physical, I think that affected us a little bit in the first half. I thought we kind of settled in and got used to their speed and length.
Thanks, Jay.
Joe Giuliano, go ahead.
Jay, speaking of your defense, what was your plan to slow down Duke and Watson? They both had, I guess, atypical games for them today.
We just had to do it as a team. We couldn't, and you could see when they scored, when they got like in one-on-one situations in space, when Watson, Jeremiah just got late getting to him and he got it one-on-one, he scored or got an and-one. It was just trying to play him as a team before he got it with 2 guys, when he got it with 2 guys. But when he got it and made a quick move and we were one-on-one, he was effective. And it was the same thing with Duke. We tried to, when he got the ball, we tried to get the team to load to him and play him as a team. When he got quick plays by himself, he got us, I thought it was really good team defense.
Thanks, Jay.
Thanks.
Mike Jensen, go ahead.
Jay, it's almost impossible for us to not sort of compare, this team with that team, even among your own teams, among the versus 2016 or 18 or whatever. And my question is, looking at your defense, it's kind of it's a different defense than, say, the 2016 defense, isn't it? Where you're, creating, 10-0 drives off your defense. I mean, how do you see that difference of what these guys do?
Yeah, we are a different defense. You're right, and we have basic concepts, but we have basic concepts offensively and defensively, but our offense and defense is tailored to the personnel we have. You know, I think Jeremiah Robinson Earl is one of the best defensive players in the country. He can guard any position, and it helps everybody else. You know, Justin Moore is the same kind of guy, believe it or not. Like Justin Moore can actually guard in the post. We weren't, you know, our other teams could do that, but not as well as this team. But our other teams are better offensively. Like we're not there offensively yet, but we have a chance to be one of our best defensive teams. You know, the season's been all over the place, Mike. So it's hard to tell. You know, are we the team that just gave up 58% against Seton Hall, or are we this team? Probably somewhere in the middle, but we can keep getting better.
But this team maybe doesn't get in the passing lanes and go the other way quite as much as, you know,
Exactly.
Josh and those guys did, right?
Exactly. We don't have the speed. We don't have the speed and the quickness, but we do have good mobility and good size. So it is different. It's totally basic concept are the same, but the coverages and everything are different.
And other question, who's put the cardboard or blanket over the window coach?
Hey, Ed Cooley's the funniest guy. He said, I don't want you to think I'm being a big baby. He actually said something else, but I can't say. And I said, actually, I think you are. And then I walked over and I looked into that light and I said, you know what? You're not. It was bad. I've been here, how many years? I don't know. I've never seen that. We practice in here. The girls play games in here. I've never seen it. It was bad. It was blinding, literally blinding.
Thanks.
You got it.
David Melandra, go ahead.
Hey, Jay, how would you assess how your team has looked in the game against Seton Hall and then today after coming off the long pause from COVID?
I think it was a really good step today. You know, we can't evaluate ourselves on where we would normally be at this point in the season. We have to evaluate ourselves on, you know, just where are we based on the challenges we have at this time. And we got to just keep taking steps. You know, do we have enough time to be a really good team by the end? Do we stay COVID free long enough, you know, to be a really good team at the end? I don't know, but all we can evaluate is, are we getting better every day? And I think we took great steps from the Seton Hall game, but we have a long way to go.
And with the second half being delayed, as was that one of the weirdest things you ever experienced coaching wise?
Yeah. You know, this year just seems to be that way, right? Like I said, I've been here 19 years, 20 years. I've never seen that on this court like that. I mean, that's bizarre. And it was bad. You know, as I said, I walked over and looked at it. And it was as blinding as I've ever seen a light inside a building.
And how can you build off this game going into your next one?
We have a lot of room to improve. You know, we got to get rotations down. We got to get we got to get our guys being able to play, our versatility, like guys being able to play other positions. You know, we haven't practiced enough where you can play guys at different positions. You know, we get disorganized sometimes when we make certain substitutions, but they're all things that, you know, if you had played a lot of games by now and had a lot of practices, you'd be able to do. I think the big question is, are we, you know, how much time are we going to have, and how good can we get?
Austin, go ahead.
Hey, Jay, in terms of Caleb, do you think the additional practice time he had contributed to his performance today and more minutes?
Definitely. You know, his symptoms were far worse than Jermaine's, but, you know, after like 3 days, he said he was fine. You know, he's like, I'm ready to go. He's like, and I said, well, you're still in quarantine. You know, he's like, but I want to go now, you know. But you can tell when he got back to practice that one day, it affected him. We could tell by his heart rate, he was affected. I think he's starting to get back into shape more, and he did a really good job today.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Does anybody else have a question for Coach? All right, Coach, thank you very much.
Thanks, Michelle. Thank you, guys.
Colin, what do you attribute the second half turnaround, you know, trailing at halftime, then came out and went on the run to take control of the game? To what do you attribute that?
I think that was just they did a great job in the first half on us. They're a great team. They're tough. They're physical, and they got us out of some of our stuff. But in the second half, we were able to get good looks at the rim, and guys were doing a great job of finding other guys when the defense collapsed. So, and it all started on the defensive end. We had Jeremiah did an amazing job on Watson, moving on him, just trying to do whatever he could to keep it out of his hands. And then Justin did an amazing job on David. But we were just guarding those guys as a team, and those two were put on them. So they did an amazing job.
Thank you, Colin.
Aaron, go ahead.
Hey, Colin, I was going to ask what Glenn did, but kind of going a different route. When you're struggling like that on offense, how much can you attribute that to lack of practice time together as a team, or is that overblown, do you think?
I mean, I think some of the turnovers that we had in the first half and some of the shots that we took were just purely from not being able to play together for a little while, and also not being in the gym as much as we normally would have been practicing together. But I don't think it's that big. I think we were getting okay shots, but in the second half we were just getting much better shots, more open looks.
Joe Giuliano, go ahead.
Colin, how it seems like people tend to underrate Jeremiah's defensive play, but what do you see from him that makes him such an outstanding defensive player?
Yeah, I think he's one of the best defense players in the country. If you're a big man and I mean, Nate Watson's one of the best bigs in our league, and he's been playing really well this year. And Jeremiah kind of did whatever he could. He was moving on him a lot, and he's somebody that can guard 1 through 5. He can move quick laterally, very quick. So he could guard 1 through 5. We think he's one of the best defensive players in the country.
And on David Duke, what makes him so tough, and how did you guys have success against him, relatively speaking?
Justin Moore did an incredible job on him as well. Just locking into the scouting report and being physical and tough. And he's an incredibly dynamic guard. He could do a little bit of everything. He's got great size, so he could get to the rim. He could shoot threes, pull ups, and he can find his teammates. So he does a little bit of everything for his team. But Justin did a great job on him today.
Thank you.
Terry, go ahead.
Hey, Colin. Jay said that this team could be one of his better defensive teams. What makes you guys so tough on the defensive end?
We got guys that can guard 1 through 5. Just like I just said, Jeremiah and Justin, Jermaine, we have great size and length on the perimeter, and then Jeremiah can guard 1 through 5. So he's guarding bigs, he's guarding guards, and Justin can go inside and guard a big like Watson. And I think it's kind of just interchangeable. We could play a few defenses and our team's smart enough to just react to the switching of the defenses. And I think we just do a good job communicating, and we know that we can still get a lot better on the defensive end. There's some lapses there, but the more time that we're able to be together and practice and get in game situations, I think we'll just continue to improve.
I mean, do you have to kind of get in a rhythm like you do on offense too? And is that where the layoff kind of hurts you a little bit?
Oh yeah, I think so. I mean, we were able to get in the gym. Our coaches did a great job of just kind of getting us to do individual workouts and staying in the gym as much as we could with lifting and basketball stuff. But it's definitely going to be just as much time as we could get in the gym together is going to be huge for us.
Thank you.
Aaron, go ahead.
Can you walk us through that three-pointer at the halftime buzzer? And also, can you tell us how significant that was in changing the game?
Yeah, we just ran. They came up and pressed us, so we just ran our press offense, and we kicked it. Justin found me in the middle and kicked it ahead, and I saw the clock was running down, so I just wanted to get a shot off, and it ended up going in. But we knew that whatever happened, if that didn't go in, we were going to come out in the second half, and we were just going to grind it out. We knew it was that type of game. They're a great team, so they weren't going to go away, and we just had to stick to our scouting report and do what we do.
Hey, Colin. I didn't get the chance to ask this to coach earlier. We noticed that you had a lineup change tonight, deciding to start Jermaine and Caleb instead of Brandon and Cole, like a few days ago at Seton Hall. Was this mostly? Do you think that this was mostly trying to rejuvenate chemistry that might have been lost in your COVID break that you had, or was it more of a matchup decision for specifically against Providence?
It was just those two. I mean, those guys started all year, and we've had the same starting lineup all year. But those two were out for a while with during the COVID protocol, so they weren't able to get in the gym as much as other guys were. So they got cleared right before the Seton Hall game, and coach didn't want to put them in the starting lineup because we had practiced a few times with the other guys in there. So that was I think that was just getting those guys back into practice and being comfortable with our first five.
Thank you.
Does anybody else have any questions for Colin? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Justin, how are you?
I'm doing good.
I mean, you know, when you get an assignment to cover a guy like David Duke, what goes through your head, you know, and you look forward to that challenge?
Yeah, I look forward to guarding whoever each game we go in. Just being able to take on the challenge. Defense is a big part of what we do at Nova here. So that's paying attention to the scouting report, all of us being a help side, knowing what he likes to do, and just everybody just being locked in together. It's not just me on the ball guarding him. It's all of us being able to help and communicate where he's at.
You know, have you always been a good defensive player?
Yeah, I have great size and mobile, so I've always been able to guard multiple positions, but now it's just been getting here to take it to the next level.
Thank you.
Joe Giuliano, go ahead.
Justin, what turned it around for you in the second half after a kind of a spotty first half? What was the key to getting things going in your favor in the second half?
Just still being aggressive. I mean, I was getting in the lane, trying to make plays and didn't make the right plays, but still doing what we do, just being aggressive, taking my shot when it's there, finding my teammates. And, of course, my teammates are there to encourage me and whoever else that's down, so we keep it going.
And you guys had, I think, you guys assisted on all but two of your second half baskets. What's it like when you get into that zone like that where you're managing to find the open man continuously?
It's great. We all got guys who can make shots and create for others. So it's fun when you're playing with unselfish players who can make shots and create and finish at the rim, make jumpers. It's just fun to play with.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Aaron, go ahead.
Justin, building off that, what you're saying about being aggressive, I don't know if you remember the stretch, but when you were taking that run early in the second half, you had a layup, followed that up with a layup, and then assisted, I think, Jeremiah on a dunk. Do you remember that stretch? And can you talk us through that stretch you had there?
Yeah, I think I remember. Like I said, I was just being aggressive, taking what the defense gave me. I was able to get by my man, and it didn't help. So I got a couple layups. And then when I get in the lane and I see the big step up and help, I find my teammate on the block. It's just part of our offense. So the ball happened to be in my hands at the right time, and I was able to find guys and finish. So, yeah.
Ed, go ahead.
Hi, Justin. When you see that number, 19 turnovers, you talked about those layups and that unselfishness. How much does forcing all those turnovers just make it easier on the offensive end to get out of the break, to get into that flow a little better?
Oh, it definitely makes it way easier. We're making them get turnovers, and we don't have to worry about trying to box them out because they're big and physical. So having to box them out, they don't even get a shot at above. So we get to relax a little bit, get a turnover, and then we get easy basket on the other end and get to play the offense that we like to get up and down.
Glenn, go ahead.
Justin, you came off the layup and against two tough Big East teams that have played Villanova tough. To get those wins, how much of a sense of accomplishment is that for this team?
Oh, it's definitely a big accomplishment to get any win in the Big East. Tough conference. And especially coming off the break we had, it's definitely, I feel like, impressive for us to be able to take that break and still come back and get the two big wins. But we're far from where we need to be, and we know we can get better. So we just keep grinding every day.
Thank you, Justin.
Does anyone else have a question for Justin? If so, just unmute yourself. All right, oh, Terry, do you have
Yeah.
another one?
Yeah, just getting back to David Dugan, what was the biggest challenge covering him? Justin?
Yeah, he's a great player. He can get downhill, a big guard, physical, and he can make shots off the dribble. So just always paying attention to him, and he has the ball in his hands a lot. So you have to be ready to guard at all times.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, that should be all. Thank you very much, Justin.
Actually, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead. You have a question, you can go ahead and ask before we wrap.
Wait, sorry, I thought I was unmuted. Sorry about that. Hey Justin, I just wanted to quickly ask, if however specific you want, what Jay said to you guys during the halftime.
Just talking about what we need to do on offense, being aggressive to catch and shoot, and shot fake and get in the lane and make plays for others. And then just what we normally talk about, just competing on defense, being physical, playing tough, boxing them out, being tougher than them, and just what we normally do.